Good morning. Good evening.
Hey, morning.
Hey,
Hey, what's
everyone.
Well, it's not 12 a.m. here now, so it's all good. It's better.
That's good. What time did you say it was? Like 8?
Now it's 7 p.m.
Okay.
Where are you from, sertac?
I'm from Turkey originally.
For where?
Turkey.
Oh, and how are you? Where are you?
I'm near the Bay Area,
Ah, okay.
so a little south of San Francisco. Drew, is this your first time joining the meeting?
Yeah, this is my first time.
Welcome.
Yeah, we use Gatekeeper at work, and I wanted to get more involved in the project, so I was hoping I could learn from you guys.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yes, yeah, I did the same like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, we're still waiting for a few other folks to join.
Hi, Max. Maybe he can't hear us. Yeah, he can't hear us.
I think that might be better now.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's
we can
better.
hear you.
Hey,
Rita is joining in a minute. Oh, there she is. Hello.
Hello.
logging in your official capacity.
Yeah, every time I have to log in, log out, change the account. Yeah, it's so annoying.
Too early for the for that.
What time is it in there?
It's 9 a.m. in Pacific
Ah.
time.
Okay.
No, I just had to log in with that other account for some SIG-off stuff, and yeah, I was lazy to switch accounts.
So an interesting humble brag.
No.
I'm sorry.
Rita is not entertained.
Dealing with fire this morning. All right. Okay. Sorry. Not really in a
Yeah,
joking mood right now.
I get it.
How's everyone doing today?
Not 12 a.m., so it's good.
What?
It's not 12 a.m., so it's good.
Oh, there you go.
Well, shall we through the agenda? Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
I just have my pull request that I'm waiting for you, Max.
Oh
Okay.
no! I was on vacation Monday, Tuesday, so that might be why. If it was because last I checked, it was waiting. But yeah, I could do that today.
You can just add a pull request to the meeting notes if you want.
Pull request what now?
It's in the meeting notes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll get to it before end of my day today. I have a meeting after this, so I can't just jump on it.
I just what you want in the docs to specify, and I'll update it. Just thing I think.
Oh, got you. Okay, so extra role rules is kind of ambiguous, although this is post
I took it.
install.
I took it from what the other person like added. Just copy pasted it. I can change it if you want, but thought since you approved it last time, so.
Yeah, I guess if this is specifically in post install, maybe it makes sense. I was more just didn't want to give people the impression that it would add rules to like the normal gatekeeper role, right? That this was a knob they could use to expand or contract its permissions or something.
I'll just change it to the. I'll change it to the specific service account.
Perfect. Cool. Any other new topics, or shall we go through? Did we want to invert the stale PRs thing again, or start off with triage?
You didn't activate the bot.
We can start at the bottom. Yeah, I think we say we want to cut the release 390 to RC1 today. So I think if Eras's PR is merged, I think that was the last one that we had in the milestone. Then we can cut that. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah, and I think if you just make those changes sooner rather than later, I could get it reviewed and merged today in terms of Sertac's day.
I can pop up my VM now if I want.
Okay.
I also pasted another PR in the chat. Wondering if we should include that. It's also a Helm change. Helm change and a deployment file change, adding security context to the pod level.
I see. So Ernest has already approved it. I don't know. I'm okay either way in terms of blocking. Sertac, do you have any thoughts?
Either way is fine. Yeah, don't mind either way.
Sorry, what?
Either way is fine. We can include it or not include it.
Okay, so did you want to review it, or should I just look through it?
Oh, I can review it, or since Ernest reviewed it, I'm okay with it.
Oh, okay. Then I'll take a look at the same time as the other.
What's
PR.
the difference between the pod security context and the security context itself?
What's the difference between?
Because there is a security context in each like audit and controller manager. You do provide it. There aren't just values like that he wants.
So security context, if I'm remembering right, can be specified in two places on a pod object. It can be specified per container and at the root of the pod object. And I believe if it's specified at the root of the pod object, it becomes the default for any new containers unless they override it with their own security context, which is useful if you're injecting something like a sidecar.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, I see.
Okay. Cool. Anything else, or what are we doing? Triage or
I have
the
one more
release?
item.
We moved to the release.
One
Good.
more item. So I put an external data beta on the agenda to see what our timelines for the beta. So, and then including by default. So I think after this release, we'll have validation, mutation, and mTLS. And Ernest just added docs for it. And then I think we are going to add like a template repository. But that should be completely separate. I think as far as the work, it should be done now. So do you want to call beta sooner than later, or do you want to wait like a release?
So my biggest thing for beta would be making sure we have API stability. Like stability, yes, is good, but if there's a bug there that doesn't involve changing the API, we're not dealing with backwards compatibility concerns. So yeah, I think the thing to figure out is how risky are these API elements, right? Do some of them seem more vulnerable to needing to change than others? How battle tested is this API? I don't know if I have like a way to translate that consideration into a time frame. So I think, you know, whatever argument makes sense for that. But that's for me what I'm looking for beta.
I see. I mean, should we be tracking against something? Because if it's like up in the air, we don't have anything to measure it, then it's going to be harder to call it beta.
Right. Measurement is gonna definitely be hard, especially since we don't have usage metrics. Like ideally, it'd be good to know that yes, there's a significant cross section of types of users using this feature and aren't seeing anything that fundamentally needs to change with it. Barring that intuition data we can gather from, you know, whatever third-party source like docs or something, we could come up with a sort of proximate, you know, by this time surely it's soaked enough. Maybe 0 time obviously is not enough, right? Yeah.
Do you
so
remember what were the criteria for mutation?
I don't.
I could look at the milestone, I guess. But I guess it's not just about the milestones, right? It's because milestones is sort of like, here are the features that are blocking it, right? Whereas what you're talking about is sort of like,
I think for mutation, we had a
Usage.
document.
yeah.
Can't find it now.
I remember writing the proof prior to upgrading to beta.
Mutation beta, it's still open. It's 93% complete.
Let's complete that.
All right.
And so for external data, I mean, we are working with a provider called Ratify. So I think we'll get a good signal from them as they go into like a more stable release. Do you think that's a good start? Maybe like in the next release will be, depending on how they're doing, will be confident to call it beta?
I mean, I definitely think that's more concrete than we had with mutation. I think mutation, we just like looked at the sorts of issues people were filing and didn't see anything that would cause us to like walk back and need us to walk back like positive changes, right? If we had needed to remove, say, the convergence stuff, that could have been done without changing the API as written. So what, how does that translate into a yes or no?
Well, concretely, right? Like, it sounds like we're not ready to make it a beta feature today for 3.9, right? So the earliest we could do this is 3.10, concretely, right? So that's like how many months, right? I think we say every 2 months for a minor release, right?
Right, minimum of 2 months, yeah.
Minimal, right? So concretely, we have at the earliest 2 months to see how 3.9 is doing.
That's a fair amount of soaking,
right?
It
Okay.
sounds like, yeah.
So maybe we can target 3.10 for beta, and we will evaluate as we go. Does that sound good? And the concretely, that means like, you know, the feature flag will be removed. Will not be. It will be on by default, basically. Right?
Yeah. I mean, also, you know, I get that we'd want to have it be on a minor flag just because it's a major sort of, it's a good sort of advertising kind of like, okay, below 3.9, this is where you're at 3.10, this is where you're at. But because this is just a matter of adding a new API version, I would be fine if it was on a patch myself.
That may be confusing though.
Yeah. Like there's other reasons I could see why, but just FYI, if like the 2 months or whatever it is chafes too much.
Right. Okay. Also, if you look at the external data beta milestone, there's currently I'll put it in the Zoom chat. There's also that one issue where we don't have authenticated API server.
We should remove that from the beta milestone.
Right. So do we feel, I mean, because this is outside of this project, right? This is Kubernetes.
For the K8s, why was that in there, to be honest? Like, does external data reach out to the API server ever?
No, this is to make sure that we have mTLS, right, between the API server and the gatekeeper webhook.
Oh, right. Because
if gatekeeper responds with a
server. Sorry, good.
So if somebody like eavesdrops, I guess we have mTLS between the provider and gatekeeper now.
Yeah, but those are two different things. Yeah.
This is between the webhook and the
Right. This would be someone fakes a request from the API server in order to hit some downstream data provider.
And we said this is more of a concern because external data could be exposing more sensitive data, right? Like that's one reason why this is part of the external feature graduation.
I think we should, if we highlight it in the docs, it's fine.
As like a known issue or known concern, kind of.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think there's something where, so K8s had something you could do if you had access to the like install process for K8s, right? So if you're rolling your own K8s, you could get these certs, right? I forget. There's no way to ask gatekeeper though to look at that cert currently. Is that right? It'd have to be a code level change, and controller runtime doesn't have that hook.
Right.
That would have been happier if controller runtime had the hook, but
Well, yeah,
yeah.
that's why it's a Kubernetes change and a controller runtime change. That's why it's like a much beyond a gatekeeper kind of thing, outside a gatekeeper, I mean.
Looks like the controller runtime change got merged, or was it? It was
Oh.
there.
Also allow validation.
Yeah. So at the end of it, somebody linked to a PR, and that one
It's
is merged.
closed.
Yeah, scroll it to the end, and then there's like
okay.
802. I don't know if this is relevant. Let's see.
So if it's possible to do the controller runtime change, we may as well do that and then document the rest of it. Otherwise, just document for now. And that's fodder for, hey, this stuff is necessary.
Right. Enable those verify. Okay.
I think this is what we implemented, though. Ernest, do you know?
Well, we implemented us when we call out to the webhooks that we provide our own cert, right? So we did mTLS between us and the provider. I don't know if we touched our webhook server code.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything webhook related. Mostly between providers and gatekeeper, as Max said.
Yeah, so it looks like this is webhook related. So yeah, we could add that one.
Okay, we could look into this, but I think the point is it shouldn't be a beta blocker, right? And if that's
certainly
the case,
not for
remove
Kubernetes.
it.
Well, certainly not for Kubernetes. I would say if it's relatively easy, we should have the knobs that people need to lock this down. Otherwise, next best is to document it and say, like, lock down your network access. So sort of a tiered thing of, is it possible? If yes, do that and document. If it's not possible, document. Bug done. Well, not bug done, but the blocking part of the bug is done.
Okay. Let me just document, sorry, let me just add a comment about need to document for beta, I guess, but not, yeah.
Yeah, and as I said, if controller runtime has changed, so it's like a 5-line change to enable mTLS, we may as well sneak that in there. But if it needs any changes to controller runtime or something like that, it's not blocking at that point.
Yeah, it seems like this change got merged like 2 years ago.
Which is before I opened the issue. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but are we happy with those heuristics? Like, because if so, someone can just investigate and see. Like, I'm hoping it's not more than a 10-minute investigation.
Yeah, I did not know to the agenda to evaluate the controller runtime functionality.
Okay.
Are we okay to remove this from the authenticate API server for gatekeeper webhook from the beta for now, or just keep it?
Yeah, so as long as the thing I said about documenting and seeing if we upgrade, as long as that happens, okay. I'm fine. The sort of niceties of the procedure, whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just keep it for now. Should we move to the next item?
I just have a quick question. When is 3.9 like the should be released?
So we are releasing the RC today, depending your PR areas.
I just pushed it. So just Max needs to approve it, and
Oh, here, since it's actually, yeah, let me do it not in mid meeting.
no, yeah, I know. I just said I pushed it. That's just what I said. I just wanted to know
Yeah.
when's you can yeah, continue with the answer, I think.
We would are you talking about the RC that we're talking about cutting,
No,
or
like
the
when
non-RC?
the non-RC, like the 3.9.0.
That's next week, next Wednesday.
Okay.
So we'll have a week to soak it, and then next Wednesday.
Are you also releasing the Helm charts with the RC?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is a
With the
Helm release
RC, or
sorry.
with the in terms of like the sorry, the master or main branch or whatever, the
Like if I want to deploy the RC with Helm chart, can I do it? Because the Helm chart has modifications of itself.
Every gatekeeper release comes with the Helm release.
even, well, yeah, but the RC, where does that live? Because it's not in the default location, right? It's in the manifest staging, I'd imagine.
No, but once we publish it, once we cut the actual RC, then it's going to be in the same locations as the regular ones.
Okay.
So the Helm chart will be in the Helm repo and all that stuff.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Max, you look concerned.
Well, no, not concerned, just like confused. Maybe there's like some Helm publishing thing that I missed out on here. I thought we only had the one kind of chart, but that could just be my own ignorance.
Yeah, at the end of the release, we publish the Helm charts to the GitHub pages, and then that's where the Helm repo is hosted.
GitHub pages. I don't need to block on this. I believe you.
Yeah, if
just
you
looking
if you click into charts, you should see RCs in there from past RCs.
Okay, so it's charts.
I just searched like Helm search with the with the hyphen development, and it shows the beta version. So yeah, that's good.
If you click through charts in the documentation on the website, you're saying, or?
Can you click on the link that I put in chat?
Oh, you clicked on you added a link. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Weird. What? Oh, this is in GitHub pages. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I was like, I don't see that in the source code.
This is like a common way for people to store their chart repository.
Gotcha.
And we don't have to deal with like separate hosting. Everything is hosted in GitHub.
That makes sense.
So that answers my question. I just use the RC tomorrow.
We have a half an hour. Should we do the issue triage?
Yeah, were there any other outstanding things before that? Looks like no. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll volunteer this time for the hosting of the. 1 second. Let me just open up Gatekeeper. Oh. Somehow I'm logged out again. Da, 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 da. Okay, logged in. And where's present here? Ah, share screen. Okay, it's okay, there we are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So is this a good Zoom, or should I zoom out or zoom in rather?
A little bit
It's
zoom in.
good.
I think.
A little bit zoom in.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, and sort least recently updated. All right, Helm chart should support configuration of webhook clients. I think we do this now, right?
Yeah. There's definitely the lead type of operations now.
And someone made a change around the sub resources.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me look for the.
Yeah, I see delete operation.
You link it. Our docs needs to update this. Of course. Yeah. Maybe our doc should just point to the charts README. That way we don't have to keep updating it.
Yeah.
To the we don't document Helm in the docs. Do we?
Like our docs is like very specific to certain concepts. But in terms like what are the knobs and everything, that's all in the chart README.
Yeah, 100%. We should link it to there. I thought we were already doing that.
So like that's what we should say, right? Like you can use this in the chart.
Right.
Well, what we would say, like, what, look through the chart README for that, or like, is the goal to not mention that specifically in case it changes, and then the.
Yeah.
I don't think we specifically mentioned the
Yeah.
operations in the documentation. We just have installation, and then it's like Helm install this.
We actually linked to 3.10 beta deployment YAML for how you can add the lead to the list of operations.
I mean, that's kind of fine, I think, right? The
Yeah,
validating webhook configuration doesn't
it's
change.
fine, but it's like
Oh.
old 3.1 beta, you know?
I mean, I think we should just remove that link there.
Right.
And then, I mean, the content is still valid.
Yeah.
Because it could also, oh, this is linked into the YAML, not Helm. So this is also
Right.
unrelated. Yeah.
Do you want to update this,
I
Matt?
mean, I don't think the docs are specifying anything about the Helm chart specifically. It's just,
Yep.
I don't see like everything here is not, doesn't have like a link to the Helm chart. You just use the values and go with it, go with the flow. That's what I did.
Yeah, and the documentation of the stuff, like, if I remember right, yeah, that's just sort of showing where that code snippet fits in generally, right, in the validating webhook configuration. So I'm kind of okay if it points to an old version, because the point there wasn't like use this explicitly. It was roughly this is where that code lives. I guess we could like copy the validating webhook configuration, but then that could go stale. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my only point was like there are knobs that we have in the Helm chart that we don't really talk about, or it's not in the docs.
Yeah, we should link to the README page here for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll open an issue.
All right, do we want to leave this issue open for that, or just have an issue?
No, I think you should just link. If you could take a look at the links in the chat, if you could point them to that flag in the Helm chart, then they can go like in the README. Point them to the README, then they can see how to use it.
Also, here you can add it in the deploy via Helm. You can add a section to here a link. Here's the link to the README with all the, or specifically to a page like deploy
That's a
via
good
Helm.
point.
All right, so it seems like they're already familiar with that they can install via Helm. I mean, this is also a year ago, so I guess this is more for other people.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go through all these docs. Okay, so
if it's easier, you can just put the link here. Okay, never mind.
I mean, I can't imagine the person's face like 2 years after, like, should work now.
What's that? Sorry, man.
I can't imagine his face like 2 years after. Should work now.
Right. Docs on how to enable completion of deletes operations. And someone had linked the Helm chart CRDs for that I'll just navigate to. Gatekeeper charts. README.
Enable delete operations flag.
All right. So anything I'm missing there or good?
If you could just explicitly say use the enable delete operations flag. I mean, if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Next one. Delete CRD when constraint template rego is invalid. There's a bug in the rego code while creating a new constraint template. The gatekeeper controller does not create a CRD And creation of the constraint also fails due to CRD missing, but when existed, we do not want to delete the CRD. That would delete the constraints. Only log the errors. Oh, okay. I think this one should have just been closed. Any objections?
Yeah, sounds good.
Gatekeeper memory utilization spikes during audit run when OPA cache is enabled. But it spikes as you increase the number of deployments as constraints. It spikes even more. This may be attributed to deep copies. Yeah, Will was looking at some of this stuff. This may be a little better. There was still, and I don't know what the thread of this, the state of this thread is. But there was if you had lots of if you have syncs on lots of different objects, then you could run into lock contention issues because trying to cache something in OPA essentially acquires a lock that is blocking also for calling the validation webhook. So you can kind of like stun lock the gatekeeper validation webhook by washing resources that change frequently enough. And part of that was because OPA has the serialization, deserialization step that it goes through post lock acquisition, which makes it hold the lock for longer than it strictly needs to. Will had some changes out there, but they were like controversial or something, or there were other, I think it was more there were other ideas of how to achieve that. So related, maybe, because one of his changes would avoid the need for some of these deep copy, but that deep copy should be short-lived. However, this is spiking memory usage. This isn't constant memory usage. Is this only with sync? 4 different constraints that check OPA validations for deployment kinds. Audit interval 3,600. So what is that? 60 seconds, 60 minutes. So that's every hour they're running. And they're seeing multiple spikes in an hour. Oh, well, you know what? We've removed auditing from cache altogether. Well, not the flag, but we removed auditing from OPA's cache.
Wait, what?
What?
We still have audit from cache.
Well, yeah, we still have audit from cache, but it works completely differently now. Let me find.
Right. Like it's
It's auditing from right. It's auditing from the controller runtime cache rather than the OPA cache.
mhm.
So this specific bug might be closable because of that. in addition
Right.
to the other performance improvements.
Right. Didn't Will and I think we also did some like load testing with audit. Can we share those numbers here and close it out? I just want to make sure we can kind of describe the current state of things.
Yeah, it's not going to be
It's not
apples
apple
to
to
apples. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like if we have something where those things are easily linkable and we want to close this saying like, hey, there's a bunch of improvements, here's an example, reopen this. If this still appears to be the behavior.
I mean, in theory, right? In theory, if you use the same number of constraint templates, constraints, and whatever like their resources are, and the memory consumption is not as bad, that, I mean, we didn't we have some of those numbers before? I remember we compared together.
We compared a bunch of stuff, but I don't know if we like the problem would be I don't think we got the behavior that this person is citing, right? We never set it up to get like these periodic spikes. We did have other periodic spikes that would kind of show up, or that like stair-steppy thing that was happening because we were caching more audit results than we needed to, right? There's that n squared thing when whatever that was set, the maximum number of results cached in the status, reported in the status of a constraint. But that wasn't spiky, that was stair-steppy.
Oh wow, 900 deployment objects.
Where do you see 900 deployment objects?
It's in the comment in the first one. The following image shows the memory utilization when Audit Manager has synced in about 900 deployment objects. And memory utilization peaks. Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect this to be better post changes. I don't think the spikes would be eliminated entirely. Here, I'm looking at the cache lister codes, and let's see if it lists all objects from the audit cache.
I think to your point, you can say, you know, this is on a really old gatekeeper version, and then suggest that they try it with the latest, like I think 3.8, right? Or
yeah,
what is this 3.7 that has the change, I think it's 3.8, sorry, that has all the changes. 3.8.1.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, the other thing here is the spike is 3 times the baseline roughly. And that seems excessive. Like I can see twice the baseline due to like deep copy everything. So he may still, I mean, audit will definitely spike a little bit, but hopefully the peaks are lower. Yeah, our cache thing doesn't do chunking like he suggested. But yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, suggest that they try 3.8.1 and above. Can you say we've changed how audit from cache works in just to be specific?
Well, we changed like all of it.
Right, but specifically, this is audit from cache, right? I mean, the issue itself is audit from cache.
Maybe like that's what they're saying
Yeah.
would get the spike. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll cover all the bases there. I think that's enough background.
You want to add the label triage?
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna close it.
Oh, okay.
And just do please. Like that.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. 7 more minutes. Request duration seconds metric should say which rule is slow. We have no. So we used to have no ability to do that. With sharded Rego, we do have the ability. However, well, not rule, but constraint. We still don't want to put that on a metric because of cardinality, but we can add it to logs. That and yes, tools for debugging performance could be interesting. Another maybe way we could do this is to like add annotations to the constraint resource every so often, giving like, I don't know, a histogram of how long it takes to evaluate particular constraints. All of this you'd want flag gated because it may impact performance.
There was also the OPR suggested idea for like allow detailed metrics or something like that adds cardinality.
Yeah, but that was I'm not going to write that myself, if that makes sense, because like honestly that should be off always, right? Like that was someone had a vested sort of interest in, you know, Prometheus is just really easy for our stack, and we're like, okay, this is common enough that if there really is like a groundswell for this, as long as we can like disable it, sure. But you know,
yeah, it's definitely turned off by default. But if somebody wants it, then they have to turn that special flag on. It's like here be dragon sort of way.
But it's an anti-pattern enough that I think someone needs to want it badly enough to code it themselves.
But can I like the log, at least add it to the log?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Do we want to, because I'm definitely for some way of reporting time to evaluate a constraint. I'm pushing back on Prometheus metrics specifically. Which conversation do we want to have? Does anyone object to like reporting generally? I'm taking.
Looks like I'm on mute. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. With adding to logs.
Okay. And does anyone have strong opinions as to like Prometheus metrics specifically?
No.
Okay. Let's triage this, saying this is now possible. To track how long individual constraints take to evaluate. And labels triaged.
Wait, this doesn't, it doesn't explicitly say it's for logs, right?
No, they're saying they want
No, I
metric.
mean, what you put, can you make it explicit that we just want to target logs and not?
Yeah. Let me just, because I don't want to like be too prescriptive in like the 5-minute discussion. Prometheus metrics are probably the wrong place due to cardinality. PII concerns, writing to logs may be a good option. Writing performance data to the constraint object itself. This would be interesting. We may need to make this.
Wouldn't that have like a,
Yeah.
so it's like a kind of like a timestamp kind of thing, like a snapshot? It wouldn't be historical data, right? Because of object size and all that.
Well, what we could do is do like a histogram and this is where I don't want to like be too prescriptive just on the bug, because there are a lot of possibilities, but like a number of requests that took longer than a millisecond or whatever, number of requests that took longer than or less than blah 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 blah, kind of like how Prometheus metrics work for their histograms.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that it's easy to gather that information. And it's with logs, you'd only get the one data point, right? So like you'd need to process the logs, which is another way of doing it, like a log plus a log analyzer.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's just not a good experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not obvious to me which one's like faster to implement, what the MVP is, what the best UX is, all that. So that's why I'm just throwing ideas.
That makes sense.
All right. Good to anything anyone else wants to add to this?
Do we have a label for, I don't know, metrics? Oh, there is. So maybe add it to that.
Yeah.
I'll just add the label. I already added. Oh, never.
Oh.
Yeah, no worries. I was just looking for it. I was like, do we have one?
I have
a lot of
performance, kind of.
Sure. All right, I gotta jump as well. It was good to see y'all.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Have a good week. Bye.
Have a good week. Max, I'll be waiting for your update.
Okay, yeah, it will. Don't wait up if it's late your time. I have a meeting. I won't be able to do it for at least another 30 minutes, maybe an hour.
No, it's 9 p.m. It's all 8 p.m. All good.
Okay.
No, but I think it's okay, the docs. Okay, bye.
Bye.